was like, that's 5 stars. Like the playlist is 5 stars. Plate no crumbs. Like I'm literally eating the plate when I read a hockey romance. Hey guys, it's Ems and welcome back to my reading room. Today we are going to be doing our May wrap up and June TBR. I was not planning on filming this video, so it is literally like 2 weeks into June now, but that's okay. I realized in May I read a good 5 books. And I don't know why, May must have felt like the most busy month of my life or something, because I thought I read like 2 books in May, and I wasn't planning on filming this video until the end of June, and I was gonna mix them together. And then I was like, wait a minute, I read more than 2 books. I read 5, and I DNF'd one. And I think the DNF had like got to my mind, and I was like, oh, okay, I only read this many books because I DNF'd one. And I was like, no, you read 5 books and DNF'd a 6th book, but the first book that I read in May was actually a book on my May TBR. It was the Roughest Draft by Emily Wimberly and Austin Sigma Broca. This book I gave 3.5 stars because I enjoyed the premise of the book, but the romance was not my favorite. I don't read books for like plot devices and like literature. I'm here for the fun of it, and it gave me the fun of it. There was kind of stuff that just kind of fell through for me, and I didn't really understand what was going on. I read it pretty quickly. It was a fast read, so I think if you're looking for a fun summer read that goes pretty quickly, The Roughest Draft is definitely for you. I've seen a lot of people compare it to Book Lovers or Beach Read, but I don't think I would really compare it to anything I've read by Emily Henry, but maybe that's just because I've read them at such different times in my life. I think that I could definitely get behind some of the similarities, but in The Roughest Draft, you have Nathan and Katrina, who were 2 writing partners, and they were co-authors, which is kind of funny because the 2 people who wrote this were a male and female co-author, and I think they definitely had some insight into what they were talking about, and they knew what they needed to say. But you have Nathan and Trina who are co-authors, but one day they kind of just stopped writing together, and the masses don't know why. There's a lot of rumors, funny rumors, nasty rumors, just kind of anything you can get on the media, which is not always good. It could also kind of get into their minds a bit, like having these many people talk about you even though they don't know you, and I think that really gets to our main girl. And then they have a 1 more book contract, and you're kind of gonna see what happens. Are they gonna write together? Are they not gonna write together? Is the book gonna fall through? Are they gonna have to write a book? And I will let you figure out if they write a book together. The next book that I read in May was another one that I actually read off my TBR, and if you watched that video, I'm not even ready to talk about it, but I did buy it, so it will be read at one point. Yeah, it doesn't seem like I'm gonna read it because I wasn't ready, I'm not ready, and I've already read the book. I read Powerful by Lauren Roberts, Adina's novella, and can I tell you, when I tell you that I cried, yeah, I cried in class reading this. I was like on my page, and oh, there's a bookmark in here, okay. I had it open in class, and there's a picture of me just crying, but Reckless comes out next month, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it done. I'm going to read Powerful. And can I tell you that this was I don't think I've read very many novellas. This may be one of the only novellas I've read. It was perfect. I think if she made this into a full-fledged book, it would be a 5 stars. This is a 4 stars because I watched Sarah Crowley's video and she talked about it, and she was like, I can't give it a 5 because it wasn't like fully there. And I was like, I totally agree. Like this is definitely a 4 star for me, especially like while reading it. But Adina's story is beautiful. I loved Adina with my whole heart in the first book, and then I got this, and I couldn't believe it. Like I was genuinely just in shock, in tears, crying. Mac was the cutest book boyfriend ever. He was really good at what he does, and I very, how many berries can you get? I very much hope that he has a bigger plot in any of the books. I'm not going to tell you why, but I really hope that he does something. I hope that he is a main character. I don't care. I know that it's a novella, but I want him to be a part of the rest of the series. And that's all I have to say. In Powerful, you are getting Adina's point of view of Powerless. If you haven't read Powerless yet, you read Powerless and then you can read Powerful, or you can tandem read it if you want to. I think tandem reading it would be a good idea. I think before Reckless comes out, I may tandem read them. The way Lauren Roberts writes is she just has beautiful writing, and honestly, like, I'm not a writing girly, but I think I just love the way she like kind of puts anyone's story into perspective. Mac's point of view was literally like, I was obsessed with it, and his story in general like even had me in tears. Like, not even the big cry part of this book, I was literally just crying for him. If you haven't read them yet, I would definitely read Powerless and Powerful. Tandem read them one or the other, I don't care. Literally read these books. I just gave Powerless to one of my friends, and I'm excited to see what she thinks about it, because she posted something and I was like, girl, I don't really know like what you would say about Powerful if you haven't read Powerless yet, but really all I think is like, yes, it is Adina's perspective of what is going on. It's quite short, very tiny wingspan, tiny book, I don't know. It's a short book, and I think you could get through it very quickly if you need a little fantasy in your summer romances. The next book that I read, I believe, was also on my May TBR, but oh my God. I read The Dixon Rule by Elle Kennedy. This is the second book in the Campus Diaries series. It comes after The Graham Effect, which is, let's get into this. This is the second book in the Off-Campus, Is it? Campus Diaries. Whatever this is. This is the second book in the Campus Diaries series, which comes after the Off-Campus series, which also has the Briar Year series in it. And we'll get into that in maybe another video. But this is about Diana and Shane. Diana is Gigi's best friend, which is the first girl from the other book, and you kind of get a lot of Gigi, you get a lot of Diana, you get a lot of the friendships in this. It's very found family. I think Elle Kennedy really knows how to make a friend group, especially hockey. You're seeing the kids from off campus, you're seeing people from Briar U, you're seeing a lot of different like storylines in this book. And I believe I didn't read Briar U whenever I read The Dixon Rule, but there's definitely some Briar U people in here, I believe. Dixon Rule, you have Diana and Shane. Diana is just this powerful kind of powerhouse of a little lady. She's a cheerleader, a dancer, and she lives in this apartment. And one day she gets a neighbor, and that neighbor is Shane. Shane is on the hockey team, and Diana, from first, before even knowing him, she does not like him. You're getting a kind of rivals, I guess you could consider it enemies. I don't really consider romance books ever enemies to lovers, maybe like rivals, maybe they literally like butt heads and don't like each other, but other than that, you're kind of just getting them like not getting along. But she doesn't like him because he is hooking up with a lot of the cheerleaders, and those are her friends, and she's like, dude. And they become neighbors, and you're kind of getting forced proximity, and you just have to see from there. I don't really know what I would want you to know about this book other than that it's kind of found family friend group, and you're getting a lot of Gigi and Ryder who are in this book. And if you enjoyed the first one, Campus Diaries, you would definitely enjoy the second one. The next book that I read in May was Unexpected, and I believe I do not have this on any TBR ever, but I read The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. I picked it up because it was paperback finally, and I was like, you know what, like, I want to get into this. The Bodyguard is Hannah and Jack. Hannah is the bodyguard, and she is sent on a mission to make sure that Jack is okay because he has a stalker. You kind of see her doing her job, and she is very good at her job, and she wouldn't be expected to do what she does. They are in a fake relationship because his mother is sick, but Hannah needs to keep an eye on him. You kind of have this found family in their team. I really loved the team dynamic. Maybe not found family, but the dynamic in general of the team was so beautiful, and I really enjoyed that. But Jack and Hannah were also just a really good romance. I haven't given y'all the rating of any book that I've read, so it'll be on, I just realized, it'll be on the screen when I talk about them, but I'll just kind of write them again because I totally forgot. Jack and Hannah do have a beautiful romance, and I definitely enjoyed their story a lot. But there was some stuff in here that happened, and I wasn't ready for it, and it kind of just like kind of wasn't something that I was ready to read about. So I definitely would check your trigger warnings for this one as well. But it is definitely more lighthearted than crazy, but towards the end, you're like, okay, check your warnings, be ready, be prepared, be mentally okay. because like I was like, oh wow, okay. But I believe I've heard that that's a lot of Catherine Cinder books. She does talk about more heavier topics kind of intertwined through her reads. So I definitely want to read more Catherine Cinder after this, but The Bodyguard was a fun read for me and I definitely enjoyed. The next book I read in May was Pulled Under, and I think I got like 125 pages in and then I DNF'd it. It was a YA romance that I just kind of picked up from Barnes and I didn't love it and I already sold it. It's living in somebody else's heart now. The next book after that I picked up was Unsteady by Peyton Corinne, and I gave this book a 4.75. I devoured the romance in here and the plot was just so good, and I'm a hockey romance girly, like through and through. Like I'm gonna read all my hockey romance and I'm gonna pick it up and I'm going to eat it up, no plate, no crumbs. Like I'm literally eating the plate when I read a hockey romance. The reason it was 4.75 is because it didn't give me that 5-star feeling, and I was a little picky with this one because there was a couple things that happened and I was just like, okay. But I believe the next one's coming out and I am so excited for their story because I was like rooting for them in here and I was like, ooh, okay. Oh, drama? I'll eat it up. I had heard nothing about this book when I picked it up, and then I read it and I was like, why is nobody talking about this? And I think it's being talked about more now, but I was like, why has no one said anything about Unsteady? Like, this is such a good book. The reason that it really pulled me in was Playlist has so many good songs and they're kind of interweaved through the book, and I was like, y'all, like this playlist was like that's 5 stars. Like the playlist is 5 stars. Then you have Reese and Sadie. Reese is kind of this laid back hockey player and he's kind of wanting to feel again. There's stuff that goes on in his life and he's just not having a great time. And then you meet Sadie, and Sadie is kind of just, she's doing a lot, she's doing everything, and she just doesn't want to feel. Whenever you see them together, there's just this chemistry that is literally undeniable. The kind of slow burn of it was like everything to me, and the romance, like I genuinely could feel their connection and their tension and banter just off the pages. Peyton Corinne wrote this beautifully, and for a hockey romance, I was literally like, I was wanting more. I believe there were some heavier topics. I would check trigger warnings just in case, you never know. But I definitely enjoyed this. Sadie and Reese were like some of my favorite characters. The little brothers in here were adorable and I loved them with all my heart. And I think there were some other side characters that I loved. I believe this will probably end up like kind of found family-ish, because I mean, I feel like a lot of hockey romances that are interconnected will end up being like that. The next book is her friends and his friends story. And I'm like, I'm gonna eat that up. I am so glad I made this video and didn't put it with my June, because I've already read like 4 or 5 books in June and this would have been terrible. These were the 5 books I read in May, and I hope you enjoyed me talking about them. And if you stick around, let's talk about the June TBR now. In May, I told y'all that I want to read the Briar U series, and I didn't read it in May, but I did pick it up for June, and I may or may not have already read them all. But I'm not going to tell you that. You're going to have to watch the June wrap up to know what I think about these. The next book on my June TBR is Past, Present, and Future by Rachel and Solomon. This is the second book from Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. And if you know that Today, Tonight, Tomorrow is one of the literal like best little rival academic one-day books. And I'm definitely excited to see how their story goes on, and kind of if it's like second chance. I have literally no idea. I haven't read nothing about this, but maybe it's second chance. Maybe it's they stay together. Maybe there's drama. Maybe there's not. We'll see. I mean, they were rivals until one day, and then in a day they were like lovers, I think. So we're gonna see how the rest of their story goes. The next couple books I have just kind of picked up along the way when I go to like Barnes and stuff, but I have Love at First Book. This is about Emily and I don't know, this is about 2 people who really like books, I think. Emily and Sabihan, who like books. The next one I have is Begin Again, and because I read Spells for Lost Things a while ago, this YA book has been told that I should read. And I've thought about it multiple times, and I love a good little YA cutesy school book. The next book I have is The Love Interest by Claire Gilmore. I don't think I'm gonna read all these books in June, but this is just a little TBR of books that I will read one day. But the love interest, Haley Pham, gave 5 stars, and then Sarah Caroli read it as well, and I saw it at Barnes, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll pick it up. A workplace romance, I'll eat it up. There are also some new releases coming out, obviously, like Allie Hazelwood's new book, Lauren Asher's new book, and then most of the new releases I probably will read because I know Love Unwritten. I'm very excited for that one. If there are any other books you think I should read or put onto my little, I would say never lasting, but I've seen some of you guys' TBRs, and my TBR is not that bad. I'm kidding. It's okay to have a long TBR. At least you have books to read. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry this video is a little shorter. I didn't have much to say. May was such a busy month for me, and I was just getting done with school. I was trying to get out of there. But June will be better, and I'm hoping to post some videos in June just to get them rolling, see how well we can do when I don't have anything else to do. Read some books. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little May and June TBR and wrap up, and I will see you guys next time. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed, you can tell me what books you want me to read. Say if you have any series recommendations, because I did just finish Briar U, and I want some more interconnected standalone lovely books. These are the books that I've read. Here you go. If you have any books like that are interconnected and have like very good found family, let me know in the comments below because I need some. Thank you guys for watching. I will see y'all in the next one. Thank you for coming to my little library. Bye. See you later.
A boy would be the son of friends.